Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. We'll have the talking points memo a bit later on, but first, an interview with Donald Trump. As you may know, Mr. Trump has caused big controversy by criticizing Senator John McCain. It all began after the senator described some Trump supporters as crazies. That prompted Mr. Trump to describe Mr. McCain as being soft on illegal immigration and not helping American veterans enough. Mr. McCain is the chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee.
I see the vets. They come to me. These are powerful, wonderful people, and they're crying. They don't know what to do. They're lost because of what we're doing. Frankly, illegal immigrants are treated better than many of our vets.
Donald Trump is also disenchanted with John McCain on the illegal immigrant front. Those were the issues. But then things got personal.
I don't like losers. He hit me. He's not a war hero.
He's a war hero.
He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay?
And that's a comment that has caused the uproar. However, new Washington Post poll just out this afternoon shows Mr. Trump surging. 24% of Republicans or GOP leaners now support him. That poll was taken before the McCain situation exploded. Joining us now from his New York City headquarters is Donald Trump. So a supporter of yours, somebody who likes you, asked me yesterday, why doesn't Trump just stick to the issues, because some of them are resonating? Why does he have to get personal? How do you answer that?
Well, you know, when you get personal, if you look at what John McCain said, we had 15,000 incredible Americans talking about illegal immigration bill, and he called them crazies, and that was a very insulting thing. They were all very insulted in Phoenix the other day, and it was a very insulting thing, not good. And I also see what's happening because I'm making the rounds all over the country, and I see how badly our veterans are being treated. And he's the guy. I mean, he's supposed to be doing it. And I see him on television all the time, and he's always talking, but nothing gets done. These veterans are living in hell, Bill. They're hurting, and they're crying. And you see these strong, powerful people, and you see tears coming down their eyes. The Veterans Administration is a scandal. It's corrupt, and what's going on is a disgrace. And believe me, if I win, if I become president, that will end. The veterans will be treated properly.
Now, I'm going to get to that issue in a moment. I also want to talk about the illegal immigration issue. But you kind of dodged the question. You could have made the point that Mr. McCain's characterization of your supporters as crazies was false. And then you could have just said what you said right now, that the vets need better treatment, and I, Donald Trump, are going to do that if elected. But then when asked about McCain, you got into his war record, and I think you would admit here tonight that was a mistake because John McCain was a hero, and you know that.
But I haven't said anything different. In fact, Cheryl Atkinson analyzed what I said. She took it all the way, and she included a few minutes later at a news conference, which everybody goes to immediately, and she looked at it and she said, Trump did absolutely nothing wrong. He said the right things. In fact, he said war hero 4 times.
Okay, but wait. You can backtrack into that. But the fact of the matter is, we just played the clip where you said he was captured, and I like people who weren't captured. Now, you know that wasn't correct. He was on a bombing mission. He was shot down. He was tortured. He could have been released, but said no because he wanted to stay with his captured comrades. Come on, Donald. You know that the way that came off wasn't correct.
Bill, no matter how you say it, what I said, including my remarks right afterwards, right off the stage, if you look at it, and Cheryl Atkinson is highly respected, she said it was very unfair the way the media played.
All right, maybe really that was unfair, but you yourself, and I know you for a long time, and I want you to be honest, you do think John McCain is a hero. I know you do.
I do. And by the way, I said it. I actually said it 4 times, and I said it immediately after I went off stage because I was asked that question.
There is no debate about John McCain's heroism. He is an American hero. Now let's get on to the 2 issues, and you know this is close to my heart because I've raised, through the Factor viewers, tens of millions of dollars for the wounded vets to get the wheelchairs. I shouldn't have to be doing that. The government should do that. The Factor viewers and Americans who've donated tens of millions of dollars, that should come from the government, but it doesn't. So you're right. The government doesn't give the priority it should to the wounded vets. You're right. But McCain has done some good work, all right? He was behind the Veterans Affairs Reform Bill. He was behind the Clay Hunt Suicide Prevention Act. You picked the wrong guy here, I think.
Bill, regardless of work or not work, they're suffering. I'm all over the country. I see them all the time.
You're right.
By the thousands.
They're suffering.
And
but
they're
McCain
suffering.
shouldn't be the
So how
whipping
can he
boy.
be doing... But he's virtually the head person in Washington. He's the head of the group that runs. I mean, somebody's doing a bad job. It's corruption. It's massive corruption. It's massive incompetence. And the people are really being treated like third-class citizens.
I can't
Bill.
argue
So
with any of
he's
that.
in charge.
I think the VA is a disgrace, generally speaking. And I think President Obama and Bush the Younger didn't do what they should have done, which is prioritize the best treatment on earth for anybody hit in Iraq and Afghanistan. I agree. I don't think McCain's the villain here. Now, your disdain for the establishment is why you're leading in the Washington Post poll. You would agree with that. You're coming across as a guy who thinks all of these people are pinheads. The Democrats and the Republicans are just a bunch of mouth off. They don't get anything done. That's why you're popular. Is that correct?
Well, I have a great record. I've built a great company. I have a I have a wonderful company. It's been, in fact, I just released my financials and people were amazed at how good they are. They're great. And I did something, I employ thousands of people. I employ, I don't know if you just saw, but the Nevada poll just came out, and it was fantastic. It was a tremendous victory for me. But most importantly, as far as I'm concerned, I won the Hispanics by a tremendous margin. So a lot of good polls. North Carolina just came out. I'm way ahead in North Carolina.
You're ahead by Walker's second in the Washington Post, and I think he's at 14, and you're at 24. But the reason that you are surging, look, Governor Walker did a decent job in Wisconsin. Kasich did a decent job in Ohio. Bush did a decent job in Florida. Perry did a decent job in Texas. You did a good job with your company. But the reason people are coming to you is you're the anti-politician. But that's a double-edged sword because you can't alienate the establishment totally, can you?
The funny thing is that I would really not. If I win, I will tell you, I'll get along with people. And you've known me for a long time, Bill. I do get along with people. I deal with foreign countries. I've made a lot of money dealing against China. I've made a lot of money dealing against many other countries. I have a great relationship. In a Business Week poll, they said, who do you most prefer? They talked about the different things that the Chinese want. One of the things was anything Trump. I mean, and I hit them very hard because their leaders are much smarter, much more capable, much more competent than ours, and they beat us all the time.
All right.
I hit them hard. I let people know that.
You certainly hit them hard.
And yet they still like me, which is sort of an amazing thing, right?
You got 45 seconds. I want you to say something to Senator McCain tonight, man to man, right to him right now.
Well, I'm going to say this. I have respect for Senator McCain. I used to like him a lot. I supported him. I raised a lot of money for his campaign against President Obama. And certainly if there was a misunderstanding, I would totally take that back. But hopefully I said it correctly. And certainly shortly thereafter I said it correctly. I would like him, however, to do something with the 15,000 people that were in Phoenix about illegal immigration. They are being decimated. These people are being decimated. And I would love to see him do a much better job taking care of the veterans, Bill.
All right. Thanks for showing up tonight, Donald. We appreciate it.